we do have another one that will come up later in the show. But this tastes better than the defeat, probably. So talk about the Bengals here. They lost 23-20. The instant reaction or overreaction. The sky's falling. It's the end of the world. How can we lose? Burrow sucks. All this kind of stuff. But after the wave of emotions, the roller coaster ride that they put us on today, you got to sit back and it is a long season. My takeaways from we still have problems with the offensive line. The Steelers are one of the better defenses, front seven that they're going to face. Sacked Burrow 7 times today again. I mean, it's just, we got 4 out of the 5 new linemen and same results. So there's something happening with our line coaching that we're not getting. TJ Watt and Cam Hayward were just calling.
Watt could have had 6 or 7 sacks by himself.
Yeah,
he was destroying the Bengals.
Yeah. So
I mean, the one he almost. I mean, literally, that's the closest I've seen a guy almost take a handoff. When he hit Mixon on that one on the handoff.
Yep.
I mean, that was ridiculous.
Yeah. So Burrow turns the ball over 4 times, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble, and yet we still had an opportunity to win the game.
Still should have won the game, honestly.
Should have won the game. Yeah. Yes. I mean, well, should have lost the game.
I mean, yes and no.
We deserved to lose, but we probably should have won.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
If not for a long snapper, we probably win the game.
Yes. And I was yelling at the TV because Wilcox was standing there with his helmet up on his head. And, it's like, you should be practicing right now. Get your butt over there and just start snapping that dang ball. And I know he did because they showed him with the ball and it's not, but it's like.
That was the second time, though.
Yeah.
I don't know about that first one.
Well, the first one came back way too soft. I mean, you could it was fluttering in the air. And,
it was a butterfly.
Yeah, it was.
It was terrible.
And
on the PAT or the field?
PAT.
Yeah, the PAT.
The PAT.
Well, they also helps if you block the guy like Minka Fitzpatrick. They literally
you block inside out.
Yes.
They literally did not put a hand on him.
Is what you do. You block inside out. So Minka came on a little stunt and we picked the outside guy. Minka came in and just barely. I mean, he barely got it. There's a lot that you can dissect on this,
right.
But the one that. Why didn't when Chase caught that ball and they marked him out at the 1 yard line? Why didn't they challenge that? Because he caught it, his foot was on the goal line, and even Mean Gene, the Sarator, the replay machine guy, he even said after reviewing it. He caught it. His foot was there. That is a touchdown. They would have probably had a touchdown. And
yeah, he said that they would have called it a touchdown.
Right. So then
it wasn't one of those like, hey, I think it might be.
Right. He said
it was a touchdown.
Right. And so you review that.
Well, that goes back. I mean, that was one of my talking points. Whatever. Just Zach Taylor was a mess today. An absolute mess today.
Yes.
Not challenging that. Punting too quickly in overtime. So they left 15 seconds on the clock, and the Steelers made the winning field goal with how many seconds? 5. Right. Why again? Maybe this is just me, but why do you take the field goal on 3rd down? Which take a field goal on 3rd down, but the whole point of taking the field goal on 3rd down is if there's any mess up, any mess up,
drop.
You just who cares if you're taking a 7 or 8 yard field goal longer?
I mean,
so you tell Huber last instruction. Any mess up, even slight mess up, you just fall on it.
Right.
Nope.
Try to get it down.
Snap is high.
Doesn't spin. Kicks the.
So to me, that's a coach issue right there.
Well,
Huber should know.
Huber should know.
It's both.
Yeah, it is both. I mean,
but it's
Zach Taylor has not been a good in-game coach.
No.
Hell, we haven't had one since probably Paul Brown. But
Sam Weish was pretty good.
Okay, but Marvin Lewis is awful also. But
yeah.
So Zach Taylor was not on it. He did not have a good game either. The coaching staff did not.
No.
Well, Mo Egger's been saying this since Marvin Lewis. The Bengals need to just hire a common sense coach. Follows the head coach around, like, hey, you need to challenge this, stuff like that. Game management stuff, which I'll tell you what, I've never seen Mike Tomlin mess up a game management situation. And that's why the Pittsburgh Steelers are always competitive. Never seen him do it.
Plus, they have killer defense, because their offense was horrible today. The Bengals defense.
I think the Bengals defense played really
Yes,
really well.
they did, except for we only sacked them one time, which is fine.
Yeah, but how many points were scored by the Steelers
from the defense?
From the defense.
Yeah, so what
they might have shut them out if not for the turnovers.
They kicked one field goal that didn't come off of a turnover.
Yeah, two, because the last one.
Well, yeah, the last one. Yeah.
So,
but that was a special teams issue too. With
might as well have been a turnover.
Stuff, so
so I mean,
so I don't have any one bad thing about the defense. I can't say any. The only reason they even had a chance to win the game was because of the defense.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of special teams. It wasn't because obviously the offense, and it wasn't because of coaching. So
yeah,
other than Sweet Lou Anarumo. So.
You take 5 takeaways and you only score 23 points in an NFL game. That would be what the Bengals would do, right? They would get 5 interceptions or 5 turnovers, and they go out and only can muster field goal. But it was exciting. I mean,
that it was.
Gosh, man, the roller coaster. I was up and down and yelling at the TV, and dog was running all over the place. And when Chase caught that touchdown pass there at the end, we're like, it's over. And then
I know. I said after all this, they're actually going to win this game.
Yes, yeah. I was like, "Whoo, we're going to be talking about, we can." But no. And what really is insult to injury, and this is another thing that really irritates me. There's a couple things that irritated me about the game, but one is, the Browns and the Ravens all won. I don't know. Either the entire league should open up in division, or nobody should open up against a division opponent for week 1. So that's one beef I have. Another beef, some of the calls that the officials did or didn't make. Burrow twice got crushed on when he didn't have the ball. When he threw that pick 6, TJ Watt just laid him out, which could have been called a crackback block, because he decleated him and no penalty there. If that was Tom Brady, man, that would have been a flag thrown, and TJ Watt would probably been out of the game.
If it wasn't the Steelers get away with that all the time.
Oh, yes, and then
all the time. And then, we saw it in the playoffs. Yeah. 5 years ago?
Right, and then Minka with the helmet to helmet hit on
Higgins.
On Higgins.
Yeah, on Higgins, and nope, and then there was another play where Burrow, it was like a misdirection, and he pitched it, and then he took 2 steps, and our former Larry Ogunjobi, whatever his name is, Ogunjobi just like pushed him in the back, and he didn't have the ball. Once again, if that's Mahomes, if that's Brady, if that's Aaron Rodgers, flag is flying. And, and that's where the NFL has to clean this crap up. Call it for one quarterback.
It's hockey league. It's his son.
Yeah.
He's the NFL's golden boy. He's going to go for the marquee franchises, and they're going to get all the calls when he's working a game.
But that irritated me. And then, Ben Roethlisberger earlier this week comes out and says that, yeah, when the Steelers and Ravens, it's going to be a physical game, but you're not afraid that you're going to get cheap shotted like you do in the Bengals games. And yes, I understand that, Vontaze Burfict, laid out on, Brown.
He made him crazy.
Yeah, he did. He did. But the Steelers in the Bengals games, Hines Ward had a couple of really cheap hits. Broke the jaw of Huber on a punt,
Yeah.
Once again, a crackback block that should be, he should have been tossed. And then you have, Kiki, I'm going to blow out your knee. Palmer, they put a rule in the next year saying you can't do that. And so enough with this, the Bengals play dirty. Steelers are one of the most dirtiest teams out there, but yet they get away with it because, we're physical. And it's like
the prestige.
Yeah, it's like that.
That's all it is. Vontaze Burfict would have been a perfect Steelers linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they hated him.
Yeah. So yeah. That's my beefs. It's petty, but it is what it is. I'm just mad that we lost. We're now we have to look up over the Browns, who made a comeback. They kicked a field goal to win the game. And then
also, I've never heard of a long snapper getting hurt. I've never seen that in my life.
Right bicep.
How does that happen?
Right, probably on the tackle, because he's probably doing it on the punts. Probably going down on a tackle.
Right.
And it's because it happened in the fourth quarter. So I don't know where he might have been on special teams, making a, like kickoff return, making a play. But
a lot of times the long snapper is the one that gets the tackle because they're not covered up.
Right. They're not allowed to be covered up.
Yeah. So they can, as soon as they snap it, they can run down the field.
Right.
Basically. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he couldn't still snap. I mean,
I'm sure if he could,
I guess he could have. But
I think they would have taken him out of a wheelchair if they had to. So, based on after the first one.
Yeah. Yes. But so
I got my beef. I got a beef.
All right, go ahead.
And I'm focusing on the Bengals on this. I don't care about the officials. I don't care about the Steelers. The Steelers are awful. So the Steelers, if they win 7 games, Mike Tomlin should be coach of the year. That offense was garbage today. So Mitch Trubisky, I mean, come on. So anyway, so you guys can focus on those guys. I'm focused on the Bengals. And I do not agree that the fact that they don't touch each other in the preseason anymore.
Yes, that was another.
The Rams were awful this week.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't, and it's all Sean McVay and his beliefs. Zach Taylor's his little puppy, and so he goes with the same strategy. And you saw what happened. The Rams were god awful this week.
Mm-hmm.
Bills destroyed them, and the Steelers whooped on the Bengals this week too. And so, if that's what the strategy is going to be, then we're going to be dealing with this moving forward at the beginning of the season,
right?
Because they are not ready to get to play football. They're not ready to play NFL football. And so, the first half, Burrow and the offensive line looked like they hadn't played a game. And guess what?
They haven't.
They hadn't played a game.
Nope.
I don't care about the scrimmages. I don't care about all the practices. I mean, Burrow was gone for 4 weeks. You put him in a preseason game, at least let him play a quarter. If he gets hurt, oh, well, that's karma. And that just sucks. He's going to get hurt. He almost got hurt today many times, and he walked away from it. So, So I am now very fully on the side of
at least play a half,
at least play something realistic before the
starters.
First game.
Yes,
because all that's happened so far in this season has been evidence to say that's not the right approach. Right. So that's my number one beef is that approach that for some reason Sean McVay has now created across the NFL, and it didn't work. Patrick Mahomes played, the best quarterback in the NFL, played a preseason. He threw 5 touchdowns today.
Right.
And so you can't tell me that's the way to do it. Burrow looked as bad as he's ever looked. That offensive line was awful.
Well,
and they're individually very good players, that offensive line. But offensive line only works if you are a cohesive unit and you work together and you know what each of them are going to do. And you could tell they had no clue what they were each doing as a group in that first half. So that's my number one beef.
Bolson got,
Hayward ate him up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but Lyle Collins got ate up by T.J. Watt, and Lyle Collins is not a rookie. So
no, he's not. But T.J. Watt eats up a lot. of people.
But it's even more so. You need to have an offensive line that knows what they're collectively doing.
Right, and
so the soft NFL, that approach, I think, is why the Bengals lost today.
That number one, and T. Higgins going out hurt big time because there towards the end of the game, Burrow is throwing the ball to Thomas because he's single coverage, and he's not making the play. I mean, he's got to catch that one ball in the end zone.
Right, the back of the end zone.
He's got to catch that. He's got to catch that. You're the fourth receiver. You have to make that play in that situation. And I know it's easier said than done, blah, 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 but that's what he gets paid to do. He gets paid to catch the football. and it hit him right in the hands. Chase dropped one that could have went for big yardage there in the fourth quarter as well, but he redeemed himself. Those type of things. I mean, it's just one of those. The running game. I mean, Mixon couldn't get anything going because the line couldn't get a push, and that is 100%. I agree with Charlie. They have to get together, and whether it's more than 3 plays. I mean, they have to play. Last year Burrow only played 3 snaps, and that was because he needed to do that coming off the injury. I mean, Zach Taylor didn't want him to, but Burrow said, no, I need it just for my psyche. This year, I mean, he had the appendectomy, so he wasn't in camp for 2 weeks. He was behind, and he was rusty. And you could see he had happy feet there after he got, sacked 3 times, very first play. Boom.
Very first play. That set the tone right there.
Very first play.
Yeah.
Right over the rookie, and the rookie just said,
and then he throws a pick the next play.
Yep. And, the Pittsburgh Steelers said, welcome to the NFL, Rook. It's like, whew.
Poor Volson.
Yeah. So, gosh,